three-time Super Bowl champion, Fox Sports NFL analyst, two-time Pro Bowler, super handsome, has his own radio show, Schlereth and Evans, on the Fan in Denver. Stink, let's.
Well, I've got to say, I agree with you. I love super teams because you either love them or you hate them, but they're great. Like, I love Golden State. I love the fact KD went to Golden State. Makes me want to watch them.
It does.
Right? Either you're rooting for them or you're rooting against them. There's no middle ground there.
I was talking with a future NBA Hall of Famer, and he said to me, like, look, KD went there because he wanted what he thought was a fair shot at LeBron. And the last two NBA finals, he's gotten a fair shot at LeBron, and by my estimation, he'd been the better player in the second half in the most important. Now, you might have thought that last year wasn't a fair fight because he didn't have Kyrie, but the year before, you know, he's got Kyrie, he's got Kevin Love, and they faced off, and that's what Kevin Durant wanted to show how great he was, and he showed the world how great he was in tough, pressure-filled situations.
Now, I've got no problem. Nobody cares if you're mediocre. Like, oh, they're a nice team. They're adorable. That's great. No, you're either great or, we either love you or we hate you. Nobody cares about the adorable teams.
Aaron Rodgers, highest paid quarterback, highest paid player in the history of the league. Your reaction?
Good for him. Hey, he could have gotten more. Like, everybody says, oh, he should have taken less. Okay, I should have taken less. Great point. Like, come on, stop it. Well, Tom Brady, okay, when Mike McCarthy morphs into Bill Belichick and his coaching staff, and you guarantee me we're going to world championships every single season, then, yeah, I'm in. He could have got $37 million. I mean, it doesn't matter what you pay the guy. But he's worth every penny.
But if I make the argument, Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Tom Brady took less than they could have on some level, and they have 12 combined rings. Does this come back to haunt Aaron Rodgers? Because his argument should be like, hey, I haven't had a good enough team around me to show how great I am, and yet taking more money, doesn't that limit how many other guys eventually they can put around him?
You know what? That's the team's responsibility. That's the organization's responsibility. Draft well, develop well, and put great players around Aaron Rodgers. Like that's to me, that's their responsibility. Develop those guys. Aaron is the best thrower of the football that I have ever watched. Best off-platform thrower of the football that I've ever watched. And he makes up for a multitude of sins, man. He covers warts. He's we all know how great he is, but I don't think it's his responsibility to take less than Kirk Cousins. I don't think it's his responsibility to do that for his organization.
Okay, how about this? There are many that believe, that he's got to win another Super Bowl to be put on that pedestal, on that Manning, Elway, Brady, Montana,
right.
The pedestal.
Yeah,
you agree?
Yeah, if you want to talk about world championships and all those things, yeah, I mean, Marino he's still one of the greatest I've ever watched play. Jim Kelly is still one of the greatest I've ever watched play. They're not in the conversation when it's the greatest of all time because they just don't have enough Super Bowl hardware, right? They don't have enough wins.
But you having won and considering the consistency by which he's won, as you know, like turning the football over is the easiest way to lose a football game. And he has the greatest pass to interception ratio in the history of the league. Like, I started the show thinking, like, listen, I get for people that they think he's got to win a second one, but look, you're the reason that John Elway helicoptered during the first Super Bowl.
That's a great point. So I single-handedly won Super Bowl 32.
Correct.
Right.
But Elway wasn't good. When they finally won a Super Bowl, he actually wasn't peak Elway. When he was peak Elway was when he took average teams and took them to a Super Bowl when they got blown out. So in reality, as a former great football player who was part of 3 Super Bowl winning teams, does he actually have to win another one for football people, not us, football people to view him on that level?
No. For football people, you will say, you ask any football guy and they'll tell you, oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. Well, Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. Yeah, because you start putting championships together and all those things. Even if he wins another championship, Brady's been in the Super Bowl 8 times. He's won 5 of them, I mean, you're not getting in that conversation. It's like the guy that argues that Joe Montana is the best that's ever played because he's 4-0 in Super Bowls. Well, isn't it better to get there 8 times than 4 times? Like, isn't it better to win 5 than 4? I mean, I don't understand that argument. So you're never going to win that argument. I love how we like to write the legacy of a guy before he's done retiring. Like, Aaron Rodgers is 34 years old. We're like, his legacy is this. You're like, no, he's still got a long time to play. But I just don't know that you'll ever get into that, are you going to go to the next 6 straight Super Bowls in a row? No, you're not.
You take credit for John Elway's first Super Bowl win when he helicoptered into the end zone.
Sure.
That was John Elway who helicoptered in the end zone.
Well, a 17-17 ball game, the Denver Broncos driving down the football field, right? Get down to a 3rd and 6 from about the 12-yard line. So Elway, well, here's what you got to know. Elway walks in the huddle, calls a play. It's something like, double wing right, wide left, 2-jet, all go Z shallow cross or some crap like that, right? So we get ready. Blue 80, he's hot, right? He drops back to pass, boom, pushes to the right, scrambles out there, jumps over the line of scrimmage. You see it, gets hit by 3 Packer defenders, does the helicopter. Referee's like, first down, and we're rolling over there like, oh my God, this guy's giving it up. He's 37 at the time, right? He's giving it up for us. There's no way we can lose this game. And I'm picking him up, we're coming back to the huddle. And at that point, I kind of flush and I'm like, oh my God, I just single-handedly won the Super Bowl. Because if I don't miss my block, he's never flushed out of the pocket. He was like, Elway's having a horrible game. Like, look at his passer rating. We kick a field goal, we probably lose by 4, right?
Yeah.
So
there's
single-handedly
number four on the other sideline is pretty good.
Yeah, single-handedly won that game. So I feel pretty good about my career.
Awesome. They forgot to hand you the MVP trophy on that one, but listen, maybe it'll come back around to you.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about Sam Darnold starting with the New York Jets. Jets choose to trade Teddy Bridgewater yesterday, get a 3rd-round pick from New Orleans in return. So Darnold is the guy. They name him the guy, and he's playing behind a makeshift offensive line. Good idea, bad idea?
Well, I think it's a good idea. They understand what they have in Darnold, and they understand not only does he get it, does he have football acumen? He's a blue-collar guy, hard-working guy, unbelievable release, but he's gotten to the point where he's ready to enter the fray. Like, there's a lot of guys that get to this point and you're like, he's not ready yet. Well, he's ready. From a maturity standpoint, he's earned the respect of the veteran players. They all like him. He's worked exceptionally hard, has got great pocket awareness, great pocket presence. Gets the ball out of his hand. Will he have some growing pains? Of course, he's a young player. But they're like, he's entry level ready to go. Like, let's let him go.
I love him too. And I know people forget the David Carr situation, right? Mm-hmm. David Carr wasn't a great quarterback draft. Joey Harrington was the other one. Mm-hmm. It was an expansion team. Tony Baselli was supposed to be the left tackle. They got him from the Jaguars, who didn't protect him. And Baselli never plays for the Texans. So it was a terrible offensive line. But that forever hindered David Carr's career. That's my only concern with Darnold.
Sure.
I'm with you. Everything about Darnold himself, I'm concerned about the supporting cast.
I understand that. Here's one thing. I'm good buddies. Rick Dennison was a coach at the Broncos when I was there. He was our special teams coach. Went on to coach offensive line after Alex Gibbs retired, and he's a phenomenal coach. My former teammate Dave Diaz-Infante is his assistant with the Jets. They're bringing back that Denver Bronco zone system. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have the zone system. You're going to have the play action that comes off of that. You're going to have the naked boot keep stuff that comes off of that. Like, they will do a good job of understanding that they have to take pressure off of him by running the ball, maintaining, being in front of the chains and maintaining those things. So I think that from a coaching standpoint, you can cover up and you can mask a lot of things that are a problem as long as you're a coach that understands these are things we have a problem with. There's a lot of coaches that don't look at it that way. Like, hey, it's 3rd down and 11 plus, and we're going to let you guys drop back in a 7-step drop, and you better figure it out. Well, guess what? You're going to get your quarterback hurt. They're not going to do that with him. They are going to make sure that they take the pressure off of him. They're not going to let him drop back and just get lambasted. That's a coaching staff that understands this is a growing process. But the best way to compete with the Patriots when Brady starts to decline, if he ever does, is to have your guy ready, to have your draft pick ready.
No, and they have all that cap room for next year, likelihood of another high first-round pick, although they traded away their second-round pick. Stink, you have your own radio show in Denver. I got to ask you, Case Keenum, who, look, it wasn't a great free agency class. They didn't get Cousins.
Right.
They end up can he play?
Oh, yeah. He's picked up right where he left off. He's been great in 3rd downs, and he is understanding the game, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, being very accurate. He does it all.
But arm strength, and he's little. He's
small. He's got great feet in the pocket. He moves in the pocket. He creates windows for himself. I think the biggest thing, Doug, is when you have a domineering guy like Peyton Manning, whether it's in Indy or whether it's in Denver, and a guy that basically is large and in charge, and you lose that guy, you know what nobody's ready to do is step up and take a leadership role. There's such a leadership vacuum because everybody just goes, oh, Peyton's our guy. I don't have to do anything. So nobody truly develops. And the culture of that organization was everybody's just kind of looking around at each other going, what are we going to do? And it lasted for 2 years because they didn't have a quarterback to take the reins. Like, they didn't have anybody that they believed in. They, certainly Trevor Siemian worked hard and played hard and but he wasn't ready to be that leader. And Paxton Lynch isn't. So the one thing that Case Keenum has done that nobody else has been able to do, he's come in there and been in charge. I'm the guy. And from day one, he has earned their respect, and he has done that. And so there's a whole different feeling about that offense that permeates the whole team because now the defense looks at him and go, we can actually compete.
Yeah.
So our effort is not going to be wasted, and we don't have to make every single play on a football field for us to be able to compete.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.